My name is Jennifer, a 32-year-old professional. My husband Donnie is 30 and also employed. We got married 2 years ago. Donnie might seem a bit unreliable at times, but he's a kind-hearted person and quite capable of managing the household chores. I'm a career-driven woman, finding fulfillment in my work and the achievements it brings. I work in the New York metropolitan area, a place where hard work is recognized and rewarded. However, the possibility of relocations looms and there is no established policy for maternity or parental leave. Many female employees tend to resign upon marriage or starting a family. Initially, I also preferred my career over domestic life and had no plans of getting married. When Donnie proposed, expressing his desire to marry me, I initially turned him down. I love my job, I said. I'm a section chief now, but I want to climb higher. I can't picture settling down or having kids. However, Donnie understood my ambitions and promised we would share the housework and not have children. His understanding nature eventually won me over, and I agreed to marry him. Although we both work and sometimes don't divide the chores exactly as planned, we support each other and manage pretty well. We faced some annoying comments from my in-laws like, "You should prioritize your home over your work," or "Aren't you going to have kids?" But it's not too troublesome since Donnie always stands up for me. Living with Donnie has been a pleasant experience, and I've come to appreciate the beauty of married life. Then one day, my supervisor, the department manager, called me in to discuss a potential transfer to a branch office. He said, "What do you think? The position is at a regional branch, but you'll be back at headquarters after 2 years. You'll be a section chief at the new location, and if you keep up the good work, a promotion is guaranteed upon your return. You could even become the first female department head. Not a bad offer, right?" Accepting or rejecting this transfer would significantly impact my career. In our company, everyone who has advanced to department manager or higher has undergone a transfer. Refusing could mean staying at the section chief level with the risk of demotion or being moved to an irrelevant position. Before marriage, I would have jumped at this opportunity without hesitation. But now, as a married woman, I felt a bit restrained. I told my department manager, "Thank you for considering me. Personally, I would like to view this positively. However, since it involves a transfer, I need to discuss it with my husband. Could I get back to you after that?" He replied, "Oh, right, you're married. You can choose between going alone or moving with your family. Discuss it thoroughly. I'll be expecting a positive answer." When I got home, I talked to Donnie about it. "I've been offered a transfer," I explained. "I might have to go to the countryside, but if I work hard for 2 years, I can return here. If I continue to perform well, I can get promoted. I want to accept this offer if you're okay with it, Donnie. We can either move together, or I can go alone. What do you think?" Donnie seemed surprised at first, but after some thought he said, "Your dream can come true if you accept this transfer, right, Jennifer? I can't move with you because of my job here, but don't worry about me. Go for it." With Donnie's encouragement, I informed the company that I would be moving alone for the transfer and began negotiating the terms and conditions. The company agreed to cover my relocation expenses. Additionally, they offered to treat my commute days home from the remote location as on-duty time and provided a decent benefits package. These factors convinced me to accept the transfer to the branch office. After receiving the official transfer order, I made the decision to relocate to the countryside. I found out I could rent a company apartment at a reasonable price, so that's where I opted to live. On the day of the move, the movers had already transported my belongings, and my husband came to see me off at the station. "Thanks for seeing me off. I'll keep in touch regularly and try to come home as often as I can." "Yeah, I'll be waiting. Just because you're working remotely, don't overdo it." "Same goes for you. It's time to go. Take care." "Okay, I'm heading out." And so, my journey as a remote employee began. I had initially planned to return home during extended holidays and quieter periods, but trouble soon arose at the branch office shortly after my transfer. I can't take orders from a woman. I don't trust someone who just appeared out of nowhere. I encountered resistance from the local employees who refused to acknowledge my authority. Baseless rumors circulated about me, my directives were ignored, and even my phone calls went unanswered. In the midst of this, a serious mistake occurred in a project that one of my subordinates had been overseeing, deliberately excluding me from the process. The subordinate responsible was visibly shaken. Naturally, as their supervisor, I took full responsibility. I found myself consumed with rectifying the issue, offering apologies, not only to regain lost ground, but also to mend relations with my team. Witnessing my challenges, my supervisor offered some guidance. I've been through a transfer myself, so I understand what you're going through. It might feel unjust, but you can't simply impose your authority here. Effective communication, empathy, and building relationships laterally are key. Taking my supervisor's words to heart, I focus on forging horizontal connections by spending more time with everyone at the branch. Despite not initially being part of the neighborhood association, I discovered that the company's rental housing fell under its umbrella, prompting me to join. Before I realized it, I found myself struggling to carve out personal time and often unable to return to my home, where my husband patiently awaited my return. I kept in touch with my husband, but after a few months of remote work, it became increasingly difficult to reach him at night via phone or text. "I'm stuck at the office late every day. It's chaos," he'd explain. Exhausted, I often found myself drifting off to sleep. His explanations seemed plausible, and amidst my own busy schedule, I didn't think much of it, focusing my energy on my work, even during a rare slow period when I decided to return to our home in New York on short notice. I couldn't reach him. So, I abruptly left my remote location and headed home. Upon opening the door, a strange feeling enveloped me. A woman I didn't recognize dashed to greet me, saying, "Justin, welcome back. If only I'd known you were coming home early, I would have prepared." The woman and I stood frozen, staring at each other in disbelief. Eventually, she broke the silence. "May I ask who you are? And who might you be?" "This is my home," I replied firmly. "There must be some misunderstanding. I live in this house," she insisted. After a feeble exchange of arguments, we decided to step outside to verify the house number. To my astonishment, the nameplate displayed the custom one I had ordered. "The key fits, and the nameplate is correct. This is my house. I'm going in," I declared. "Wait, what are you doing?" "Stop," she protested. Ignoring her protests, I pushed past and entered the house. Once inside, I immediately noticed the drastic changes. New curtains, different furniture, a complete overhaul of the interiors. In the living room, a framed photo captured my husband and the woman at a theme park. The kitchen held mugs unfamiliar to me, while the bathroom revealed strange toothbrushes and skincare products. Even the shower boasted women's shampoo and conditioner. As I inspected further, the bed linen sported a design I didn't recognize, and the wardrobe held only the woman's clothes, with none of mine in sight. My husband's belongings were tucked away in a room at the back of the house, as if the woman had seamlessly moved in and taken over while I stood there in shock. I swung the front door open. "I'm back. Lola, did you invite a friend over?" I asked. "Justin, thank goodness you're here. This woman just walked in like she owns the place," Lola exclaimed. The man the woman referred to as Justin was undoubtedly my husband. Catching sight of me, he looked taken aback. "What are you doing here?" he asked. "Donnie, since when did you go by Justin? Can you explain what's happening?" I confronted him. "What are you talking about? This is Justin, isn't it, Justin?" he replied hesitantly. "Well, you see, caught between us, my husband appeared flustered. "Lola, this man's real name is Donnie. Isn't that what's on your driver's license?" "And I'm Donnie's wife, Jennifer," I interjected. "That's not true. He told me he was divorced," Lola retorted. "Donnie, you need to explain everything clearly," I demanded. "Jennifer, you were hardly ever home, and I felt lonely. So I thought I'd give a dating app a try and met Lola," Donnie confessed. "I see. So Justin is your alias on the dating app?" I inquired. "No, it's not like that. I was worried about using my real name, so I used a fake one. But I kept my last name," Donnie explained. "And why lie about being divorced?" In Lola's dating app profile, she mentioned, "I've only ever attended all-girls schools and have never dated a man before. Looking for someone who's willing to be serious about a relationship with the goal of marriage." It really struck a chord with me, so I fibbed about being divorced to win Lola over, and we ended up moving in together. "Why on earth would you do that?" I exclaimed in disbelief. At that moment, my husband launched into a defense of his actions. "It's because you're always away for work. It's only natural for a man to crave companionship. We've been leading separate lives due to your demanding job and the overtime and weekend shifts. I just wanted a cozy home where my wife would be waiting for me with dinner ready," he explained defiantly. I was stunned by his confession, realizing that my perception of his supportiveness towards my career might have been misguided. "But that doesn't excuse what you did. Your actions were despicable. If you wanted to be with someone else, you should have had the decency to end our marriage first. Why didn't you do the right thing? I demanded. I cared for both of you. I never intended to leave either of you, my husband defended himself. After everything you've done, it was inevitable that I would find out when I returned. It's beyond belief that you thought you could deceive me. I shot back. Well, if you had kept your promise and returned home, none of this would have happened. Your absence pushed me to seek companionship elsewhere, he argued. What nonsense. I've explained to you how demanding my work has been, I retorted. Our argument escalated into a heated exchange, with the woman my husband had been involved with standing there, visibly shaken. She realized she had been deceived by a married man and dragged into his deceitful game. So it was all a lie? You've made a fool of me. I'm leaving right now, she declared, storming out. Lola, please, just hear me out, my husband pleaded as he attempted to halt the other woman, who was hastily packing her belongings. Don't you dare touch me with those deceitful hands of yours. I can't trust a single word that comes out of your mouth, she spat back, her voice laced with anger and betrayal. With a final curse directed at my husband, the other woman stormed out, heading for her parents' home. Fuming with anger and a desire for retribution, I resolved to punish my husband for his infidelity. Gathering evidence meticulously, I amassed a collection of proof to take back with me. Upon returning to my work assignment, I wasted no time in hiring a detective to uncover details about my husband's mistress. The investigation unearthed that she was the daughter of an executive at a company closely associated with my husband's business partner. Armed with this information, I instructed my lawyer to dispatch evidence of the affair to both my husband's residence and the other woman's parents. Upon receiving the incriminating documents, my husband vehemently protested, expressing his reluctance for a divorce. Unmoved by his pleas, I braced myself for a protracted legal battle, even considering the possibility of taking the matter to court. Unexpectedly, the other woman's family reached out to my lawyer, prompting us to arrange a meeting at their office. To my surprise, the other woman and her parents showed up, offering their sincerest apologies. We are deeply sorry. Our daughter's actions have caused you immense trouble, and we take full responsibility for that. She has always been sheltered and quite naive about the world. Despite our efforts to arrange a marriage for her with someone we deemed suitable, she longed for a more liberated love. She met your husband without our knowledge and, unfortunately, got carried away without truly understanding who he was. She mentioned meeting a divorced man on a dating app and expressed a desire to move in with him. Despite our pleas for her to cease contact with him, she refused to listen. She became so entangled in her fantasies that she ran away from home to be with him. Upon realizing she was the other woman, she was devastated and has since sought therapy. We are prepared to offer you a settlement of $50,000, and we kindly request that you keep this matter confidential. With solemn expressions, the other woman and her parents extended their hands, shaking mine firmly. I appreciate your apology. However, I'll accept it under one condition. I'm in the process of pursuing a divorce, but my husband is unwilling to agree. If you're willing to cooperate by providing testimony if this escalates to a trial, then I'll agree to the settlement, I stated firmly. We agree to cooperate, but we're concerned about our daughter's future. We prefer to avoid any permanent legal repercussions, they responded. Fortunately or unfortunately, my husband's workplace is a client of yours, I revealed. In an unexpected turn of events, the woman my husband had been unfaithful with and I formed an unlikely alliance. Together, we plotted to teach him a lesson. His workplace would soon face a crisis due to his altercation with an executive at one of their client companies. Naturally, all blame would fall squarely on my husband. Meanwhile, back at home, his parents remained oblivious to the turmoil, attempting to reach out to him as they always did. Jennifer isn't answering our calls, and she won't return them either. Is she so wrapped up in work that she's forgotten about us? When is she planning to come back? We miss seeing our grandchild, his mother lamented. Mom, you don't understand. I cheated on Jennifer while she was away on assignment, and now it seems like we're headed for a divorce, my husband confessed. His mother's response was surprising. That woman who neglects Donnie to focus on her job is to blame. Perhaps it's best if you break up with Jennifer and reconcile with the woman you had the affair with, she suggested. It became apparent that my in-laws had chosen to align themselves with the other woman's family, possibly because they perceived them as wealthier than ours. They launched a series of attacks against me, bombarding me with calls that I eventually had to block. Undeterred, they began calling me at work. When I refused to engage with them, they took matters a step further by showing up at my workplace, causing a commotion and creating a scene. "Release our son. It's your fault for being such a career-focused woman that our son strayed. He'd be happier with his lover, so stop interfering," his parents demanded. In response, I exclaimed, "What are you talking about? I'm the one seeking a divorce from Donnie. He's the one resisting, and besides, the woman he cheated with has no interest in reconciling with him. He deceived the daughter of a business executive into a relationship, and they're rightfully upset. This is going to cause a lot of trouble." Upon realizing that their son had injured a significant client, my in-laws swiftly changed their tune and attempted to reconcile with me. "Oh dear, we had no idea it had escalated to this point. We must have misunderstood. We apologize. Our son has acted foolishly, but he's regretful. You'll forgive him, won't you, Jennifer?" they pleaded. "I must decline. You've just criticized me, and now you expect me to forgive you. Please leave," I asserted firmly. Refusing to budge, they persisted, prompting me to have them escorted out by security. Their disruptive behavior led my company to take legal action against them for obstructing business. Following these events, I finally received the compensation owed to me by my husband and proceeded with the divorce. Additionally, the other woman's family sought compensation for the breach of her chastity and the costs of her psychiatric treatment, with the repercussions of his actions tarnishing his reputation at work and the financial strain of hefty compensations. My husband found himself overwhelmed with debt. Unable to afford to resign, he found himself trapped in a difficult situation. After 2 years of being away on assignment, things have finally calmed down. As I prepared to return to the main office, I reflected on my journey. Successfully completing my assignment had been a significant achievement, leading to my promotion to department manager. It dawned on me that had I not taken on this assignment, I might still be stuck in a loveless marriage. Yet deep down, I knew that a man like him would have strayed sooner or later, and conflict with his parents would have been inevitable. Through this experience, I've come to understand that I'm better suited for the demands of work rather than the complexities of family life. Now, I find myself immensely fulfilled and content,